All right, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be looking at the upcoming Mexican Grand Prix. Sorry for the voice. It's I'm getting over a little cold, so bear with me there. But gonna be taking a look at the Mexico Grand Prix. Exciting race, only a few left in the season, and let's just jump right into it. So here we can see the track laid out, two DRS zones, and some long straights, which will be really, really perfect for overtaking. But also you got, turn 4, 5, 6 will be really technical. Going into right here, 7 through 11, a bunch of weaving, and if, someone will be able to kind of weave themselves, go around the inside or outside there. You could see some really fun overtaking going on. So the big name of the game that they were talking about in the preview is altitude. Because they're so high up, it's going to be battle. It's just going to be tough for each of the cars. So before we get to the engines, they were saying that the Mexico Grand Prix track, kind of like the previous race in Texas, the track has less grip, so there's going to be more sliding, which also goes to this point number 4 right here. The air's thinner, and so less cooling is going to be going to the brakes. Not as strong braking, less track grip. I mean, it's a recipe for disaster. So it's going to take a lot of drivers, to have a lot of technical skill to be able to manage that. But one of the big points that they were making is that the engines need to work harder, because the air's thinner, so you need more air, which, just basically the engines are going to go into overtime. And so on the left here it's the 2019 Red Bull engine, but it's not, the look of it isn't too far off. And then here's the Mercedes engine. So it's hard to tell by by the pictures, but the Red Bull engine is much smaller than the Mercedes engine, which I guess really suits this better. It really suits the airflow intake better. So on paper, Red Bull's engine is supposed to hold up incredibly compared to Mercedes. However, in Texas, they were saying that Mercedes was supposed to be the dominant one, and Red Bull was able to pull it off, even if it might have just been because of pit strategy. So on paper, Red Bull's looking really solid for this race. And if they can get another 1-3 podium like they did in Texas, it would just boost them even higher. But it could be one of those things where on paper Red Bull's supposed to dominate with their engines, but when it comes down to it, driving on that track with tough braking and less grip, all the cars are more or less equalized. Who knows, really? But that altitude really is going to play such a huge factor, and I think that'll show in the practice rounds that are coming up later today. This is on Friday, the 5th, by the way. All right, home course, Sergio Checo Perez. One of the things they were talking about, so Perez has really found his groove recently in this Red Bull car. It's his first year here, and it's took him a little bit, but he's really been finding his groove in this car, just learning the mechanics and how to drive it. And so the past few races he's been killing it, and now when on paper the car looks great, he knows he has the car that can put him in that podium, if not pole. So one of the things they were talking about is, would Red Bull, we always think of Mercedes when we think of Valtteri kind of giving up position for Hamilton. But if Checo for some reason is ahead of Verstappen and Hamilton's right behind him, right behind Verstappen, would Red Bull make the call to have Verstappen overtake Checo? And Checo's really made it easy in this case. He's been on record saying that he's He's a team player, and he's in it for the Red Bull team. So if it came down to that, he would be willing, which is huge. It shows that he's in it. He's in it for the team aspect, which is great, not purely the selfish reasons. Although I will say, and I'm sure that like Christian Horner, Red Bull's team principal, and Red Bull in general love that, because they've actually like built the team around Verstappen. So I'm sure they were all over that and absolutely loved it. So it's his home Grand Prix. He hasn't finished above Verstappen without there being like Verstappen not being able to finish the race. So I don't see that situation happening, but it's there, and they might actually use Perez to like defend against Hamilton if it's Verstappen first, Perez second, Lewis third. I can see them just saying, all right, Perez, slow down and play defense against Hamilton. I can easily see that happening. All right, so let's move on to just looking at the 2021 most updated driver standings. Verstappen's ahead by 12. That's huge. I think with Red Bull looking good on paper here, Max being such a great driver, I really think that this lead is only going to increase for Max. I mean, yeah, I see no way around that. I can also see Perez making ground on Valtteri, but Lando Norris is only 1 point behind Perez, but Norris has kind of been in a slump lately, just kind of lackluster races. So I see Perez pulling away from Norris there, definitely. Yeah, that's kind of where I see this going. And then lastly, just looking at the constructor standings, I could definitely see Red Bull closing that gap to Mercedes, barring any incidents. I know that there's been a lot of talk of, saying if, like, to win the championship, Lewis will just, like, drivers, just, like, crash into each other on accident, to, like, kind of hold their places. But, Lewis was saying he's never won a championship like that before, and he doesn't want to start now, so good for him for saying that. But I definitely see Red Bull making their way up. And then Ferrari, with their new, like, upgraded engine, is looking really good, and I can really see Ferrari, passing McLaren here. It's only 3.5 points. Yeah, I think with Norris in a slump, Ricciardo just having a okay average season, and then Sainz and Leclerc have been killing it recently. Really solid performances from them, consistently solid performances. I really see Ferrari passing McLaren here, and then Red Bull, just closing that gap a little bit to Mercedes. Yeah, so, well, I appreciate you tuning in. Hope you like this recap, and we'll take a look again once the race ends. Enjoy. Appreciate you watching. If you liked it, like and subscribe. It would help out a lot, and keep making these Outlook videos for you. All right, see ya.